Okay, terrific. So, another video going on here. I've got my director to assist me. That's Penny. She's kind of a wild child. Not the kind of cat you want to pick up. Unless you want to get massacred. Anyway. Alright, couple things I need to talk to you about. In the main, we have a political speech assignment coming up. There are two links on the Blackboard page: the perfect Democratic stump speech, the perfect Republican stump speech. During the semester, I just let people loose to read those, get the gist of it. You can pick any topic you want. If you want to be supercilious, be my guest. Not everyone has to do this assignment completely seriously. If you have something tongue-in-cheek to say, I'm game for that. The main thing is, it's only about 4 pages double-spaced type. So when you look at these Democratic and Republican stump speeches, you'll see they're quite a bit longer. You won't be able to take on every topic in the speech. It's better to think of it just as writing. You could write the introduction to a speech. You could do just a section, like do something on the economy or something, or healthcare. It doesn't have to be running for president. It could be running for any office, or it could even be, it doesn't have to be in the context of a campaign. It could be a speech to the floor of the Senate. It could be legal in nature. It could be a judge running for office in one of the states that elects judges. It could be a statement made before Congress, but something that's from a prepared set of notes. Give me some indication at the top, you know, in brackets, of what the context is, so I know that. Some people have done speeches from other countries. I had a speech once about why Genghis Khan was the greatest Mongolian leader in history. So, you know, it gets around. But anyway, the point of it is taking those 2 articles, there are some rhetorical flourishes and techniques that people use, like chiasmus and so on. If you want to incorporate some of that, that would be cool, but it's not required. Anyway, it's a low-stakes assignment. I'm suggesting you not go, you know, you don't have to, I mean, do a good job. Do as good of a job as you're comfortable doing. But this does not have to be a life work. This is a check plus type assignment. I'll leave it at that. So a couple of other things are on here too. You'll see there's an article by someone named Wins, who owns a tech company called I Won't Hire People Who Use Poor Grammar. Here's why. I'm constantly selling the idea that grammar matters. Here is somebody who's in a hiring position of a big company who thinks it matters. I'm sure this guy's not the only one. But it's a good, short, little read. It won't take you very long to run through that. So, in the big picture lectures, I don't think I have much time left. I'll give myself 8 minutes here. And a few more things I wanted to hit. I'm setting up my timer for 8 minutes. So, one of them is Dunning-Kruger effect, and you'll see that is one of the articles I put up. It's a brief transcript from an episode of This American Life on NPR radio. Dunning-Kruger is the idea that people who know what they're doing don't think they're very good at things, and people who don't know what they're doing often think they're really great at things. Specific things, right? So if you ask me if I'm a good writer, I don't think I'm a good writer. I think I'm a pretty weak writer. I'm constantly working to improve. I tear my own stuff up. I could even get depressed about it if I let myself. The point is, that's actually typical of people who are good writers. We tend to be hard on ourselves and critical, like hypercritical. But you'll find that people who aren't good writers very often, according to the Dunning-Kruger effect, think they're awesome. And this is a problem. And this could be you, who I'm talking to. So be aware of that. If you've come into this class, I haven't seen a lot of ego here, but if you come into this class with an attitude like you don't really need it, and this is a waste of time, blah, 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 you could be a victim of Dunning-Kruger. Don't dismiss the possibility. It's a real thing. So And as I say, I don't think I'm a great writer. I've talked to a lot of people who are good writers. I've never met any of them who said they thought they were good writers. Like me, they're all critical of themselves and they're always wishing that they could be better. I gotta grab my garner for a second here. So there's an entry in here that I think you should pay attention to. Well, there's tons of entries in here you should pay attention to. But the particular one I'm carping on right now is called circumlocution. It's a neat little discrete word that allows you to capture this idea of people who are overwriting things. And it's one of the biggest problems I encounter as a reader of college papers. Circumlocution on page 165. Generally, circumlocution is roundabout speech or language, or else use of many words where few words would suffice. People who use circumlocutions are generally not admired for doing so, as the following quotations attest. So then he has some examples, and he then says, circumlocution is not, he's going on about the actual word itself there. And he has some other notes to it. But that idea there, and look at the examples, there's only 3 of them, they're short. Police yourself for that, because circumlocution, and I've seen it in this class, and I think I've noted it to a few people, but it's a really bad habit to get into, and you do a lot to help your writing if you get away from it. So I've talked about Dunning-Kruger, I've talked about circumlocution. I need to do one more quick video on the organization of things. It all ties into time management eventually, and I think the last point I'll make in this quick lecture before I come back in tomorrow probably and do the last one of these on organization of things. What I want you to think about is that, well, you get in different situations writing professionally when you get out of school, right? In school, generally, you've been told what to write about, at least the first couple of years. Now you're more at a stage where you're getting to choose what you're going to write about. And I gave people a choice. In a professional environment, you may just be told what to write about, but sometimes you'll have some latitude. And a lot of good writing, I mean, you have to make good choices what you're writing about. People have more than ever more and more choices for other things they can put their eyes on than you're writing. So it's a competitive market, and think of it that way. I can make corrections, make edits to your papers, and that will improve them. And I think you really should take your original and your corrected draft at the end of this semester. You're going to get back notes from me close to the end of the semester. You'll have a couple of days to turn those around. That'll be a third look at this. Look at your original, look at your final, see if you agree or disagree that it's improved. But at the same time, I can only do so much, right, before it stops being your article and starts being mine. You've given me something, I can't really move the bones around. I can change it cosmetically. You have to make good choices about what you're writing about. And when you have the option, just always be asking yourself, am I writing about something that's really worth somebody investing the time in to read it? That should certainly be informing your writing, because one way to write poorly is to write about things that no one cares about. I think I've talked about time management a few times. I have mentioned that when I see papers coming in at 11:58 on the night of, generally I'm inclined to believe that that's because the work wasn't started early enough. But there's another possibility, which is if you have the time and you're ahead, leave it until the last minute, because you can put something away for a day, then look at it and see it with fresh eyes. Of course, it doesn't take me very long reading the article to deduce whether it's a matter of poor prior planning or excellent prior planning that got it to that late moment in time. But you've got to get the time management together if you want to be a good writer. That includes doing things like, as I say, reading things reading good things in your spare time that are of interest to you, but that are examples of good writing. That's absolutely crucial. In any event, I think that's the list. I have 3 things to finish up with, which will be rules to organize your thoughts, rules to transition between paragraphs, and rules to organize ideas within paragraphs. And I can handle that in one quick video. So that's what I'm going to do, and that'll probably be a wrap for videos for the semester. And do me a favor, I'm checking to see who's watching these things all the way through. So when you do your speech, remember at the very beginning of it, after you know, even before you frame the issue for me and tell me who it is that's speaking and where they're speaking, so I have some context, I also want you to tell me if you could be any kind of animal. Tell me what kind of animal you would be. You can't pick my animal. I would be a drone bee in a lightless, airless, suffocating container, tirelessly toiling for the betterment of good writing, which is what I feel like every night as I go through these papers. But it's a mission that I'm on. So pick your own spirit animal there. Let me know what it is. That way I'll know who's watching these things all the way through. And we'll go from there. All right, thanks. Don't forget. Penny. All right.